I'm Alex Jones, your host. Thank you for joining us. Well, I already planned to come in here today on Black Friday and break down the fact that we've got more than 10,000 pedophiles and child porn dealers, child rapists, child traffickers busted. We're not just talking about somebody with child porn. A lot of them have been involved in that. We're talking about more than 2,000 arrests of people that had children or were having sex with children or were trafficking children. And we're talking about children as young as 6 months of age. And then you see all the usual suspects, all the major liberal media going, Trump's not busting pedophiles. Oh, Alex Jones is making up that pedophilia exists. They deposed the last pope, blackmailing him over pedophilia. That was in the London Guardian. Fox News, Colorado child sex trafficker sentenced to 472 years in prison, trafficking children as young as 6 months of age. Boom. That just happened today. Top brands pull YouTube ads over pedophilia fears. Sky News, Daily Mail, Google Axis distasteful survey asking users to choose which child they find to be more attractive in a pedophilia survey. What? So, that's just in the news today, and here's the big bombshell that ties into everything we're about to talk about. Ex-Secret Service agent threatens to drop new details about Bill Clinton and Lolita Express. Arguing with former Clinton operative online, Dan Bongino, said to Nick Merrill, you better stop claiming that she was nice to Secret Service. You want to play games? I know about the Blackberries. I know about Lolita Express. I know about who else was on that plane, not just Bill Clinton. And we know what you were doing. So get ready. That's up on Infowars.com by Paul Joseph Watson. It's huge. We got Mike Cernovich hosting the 4th hour. He broke, of course, the John Conyers. Not just hitting on women, not just harassing women, flying them in on government planes. But again, I think that's wrong. It's horrible. I hate John Conyers. But hitting on women or even using government money to bring in women, that's fraud, is not the same as pedophilia and being on airplanes with kidnapped 10-year-old girls, drugged up. Ugh, can you imagine here, Weinstein and Kevin Spacey and all of them going to this island and with Bill Clinton and Hillary? Ooh. Hillary first represented pedophiles. She loved to do it. 7 men raped an 11-year-old girl they kidnapped off her front porch with her bike. They raped her so hard she could never have children again. Do I need to get graphic about what happened to that little girl? They smashed her cervix all the way in until she had what they call a prolapse, and her whole body came out of her. And I'm sorry to talk about that with people watching. Hillary Clinton made jokes about it. She thinks little girls getting raped for 24 hours with blood pouring out of them is funny. So you remember that when you look at that witch and you love her. And that's what Bongino said. He said, you're Messiah. What's the quote here? Be careful, Nick. People know things not just released publicly about your Messiah. Yeah, let me just say this here. Hillary doesn't just represent pedophiles. That's why they're coming after me. Dear Nick, be careful, Nick. People know things not yet released publicly about your Messiah, Hillary. Don't poke the bear, loser. You may not like the results. Hashtag Epstein. Hashtag Emailgate. Yeah, you know it's in the 36,000 emails. It's more spirit cooking. You got all those Blackberries? Did you forget some? Hashtag people know. We're going to get into Laura Loomer with us right now and the fact that she got the exclusive video. She did not release it. The media put out the lie that she released the video of Congressman Joe Barton playing with himself in a video to a reportedly a consenting woman. Then they lied and said, I put out the video. I did not. I didn't even blur it. I covered the computer screen with paper. It only showed his face because they already put out the still image to confirm that it was a real story after other people broke it, but to also show that he was saying it was only an image he'd sent, not a video. That's not true. But I said if it was consenting, it's revenge porn against him, and it's wrong. And I warned people about what they do on these sites. The media then spun it that I released the full unedited video as revenge porn, I guess saying I'd had sex with Congressman Joe Barton, which I will assure you is not the case. He's not my type. So this is the point we've gotten to, ladies and gentlemen, where there's lies upon lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. And it really, really, really makes my head spin. So we'll get into that in the next segment, Laura Loomer. and all the rest of it. But there's clearly a civil war going on using dirt everybody's got on each other. All the data mining, all the spying. People know who the girlfriends are, who the boyfriends are, who the mistresses. Everybody's playing their hands now. None have been played against me because there's nothing there. Thank God. Thank God I'm not into the internet. I'll tell you that right now, because I've been divorced for 4 years. But, you know, I'm a simple man. I'm not into all this stuff. And I have a basic instinct not to have sex in front of a computer. But this is getting crazier and crazier. We'll get into Joe Barton in a moment and the media's misrepresentation. But what do you make of this Bongino, highly credible, top-level Secret Service agent who told me, Alex, it's worse than you know. And I go, wait a minute, worse than I'm saying? He always says that. He goes, yes, Alex, worse than you know. Well, now he's letting us know he better go public or they're going to kill him.
Well, look, Alex, it's what we've been talking about for years now, right? Bill Clinton's own sexual promiscuities, his sexual infidelity, and his association with sexual predators and pedophiles. So it really doesn't surprise me. And, you know, if there's one good thing that's going to come out of this, this surge of sexual harassment allegations and sexual assault allegations, it will be the, you know, the expose of the Clinton family and their own ties to sexual assault and sexual harassment and rape. So, you know, I'm hoping that Bill Clinton is finally exposed for the predator he really is.
And what about all the people that have been defending him, saying there's no pedophile scandals, we're making it up, when it's everywhere?
Yeah, well, people are starting to run away from the Clintons. You're already seeing people in Hollywood now are starting to back away, and especially after Donna Brazile released her book about Hillary Clinton as well, even Democrats are starting to throw the Clintons under the bus. We see with Hollywood, Chelsea Handler sent out a tweet in reply to Juanita Broderick saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see this tweet until now, but I believe you. So you have celebrities who defended and campaigned for the Clintons during the campaign trail saying, I believe you that Bill Clinton raped you.
So the rats are leaving the sinking ship. We created the hashtag Hillary for Prison, lock her up. Our listeners did it. They created the whole movement that Bill Clinton's a rapist. And now total vindication yet again.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know when people are going to realize Alex Jones and Infowars is always right? They like to call you a conspiracy theorist, and they like to call people like me and others in the alternative media like Mike Cernovich conspiracy theorists. But, you know, the truth is going to come out, and people are finally going to realize Bill Clinton is a rapist, right? And Roger Stone shirts and all of the Bill Clinton is a rapist videos that we made, they're going to vindicate us and all of the conservatives who have been defending Juanita. And
by the way, I didn't just endorse Trump, and I don't just know Roger Stone that knows Trump. I know a lot of people that know Trump way back, even longer than Roger Stone. The truth is, Trump gets obsessed with one woman, showers him with gifts, treats him like a princess, just like he acts in public. Now, if the woman is mean to him once or twice, he leaves him. So, but he's a neat freak as well. He's a one-woman guy. And so, I mean, I checked into all this. I mean, I know stuff the media would obviously want to know about Trump. I'm not going to get into it on air. But I know the real Donald Trump. And so to hear that he's having women urinate on him or he has all these sexual partners, that's not Donald Trump.
Well, also, too, I mean, you have to think to yourself, a man who's in the public eye, who's a celebrity, who's the now president of the United States, a billionaire, people tend to have common sense, or you would expect people in positions of power like politicians, I know we're going to talk about Congressman Barton today, to have common sense, right? To not be engaging in these extravagant sexual affairs.
I was about to say what you want about Barton, okay, and his voting record's not that good as a conservative. He's a neocon. Right. What are you doing, what are you doing playing with yourself in front of a live camera to webcams to a bunch of women? I mean, that's close to sticking you-know-what in a light socket. I mean, that is stupid, stupid, stupid. And a lot of conservatives are mad at me for saying it's dumb. It is dumb. I'll throw anybody under the bus that deserves it. Congressman Joe Barton of Texas, of Ennis, Texas. Is he innocent? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is this revenge porn against him by this woman that's now talking to the Washington Post? Well, whatever it is, we're going to get Laura Loomer, who's been talking to these people's expert analysis on this. Whatever the truth is, I think it's very incompetent and very reckless to be doing something like this. I've been single before in this modern age of computers and not even looking to date, and stuff pops up that a woman's 2 miles away and wants to exchange pictures with me. What do? I hit the X button. I've probably done it 100 times. So there's real impulse control problems here. But Laura Loomer, let's recap the case that just broke yesterday or a day and a half ago and walk through what's happened and how the story's changed.
So there were nude pictures and sex between Representative Joe Barton and a woman that were published to Twitter from an account on the 20th. And these images circulated the web, and they, showed Joe Barton sending very graphic pictures of himself and very, lewd text messages to a woman who he was supposedly having a relationship with. He admitted that the images were him and that he did send the messages. And then he apologized and said that it was consensual and that the messages were sent while he was separated or divorced from his wife. And then he also said that what was seen online was what he was aware of as well. And he didn't take responsibility for a video. He said that there was just a photo, right? And we do know that every single aspect of his statement is now false. So it wasn't a photo, it was a video. The picture that circulated was a screenshot from the video. The relationship, if you look at the text messages, it took place on Tuesday, March 13th, which was in 2012. And an article by the Washington Post has now confirmed that these messages were sent and that this sexual affair took place in 2012. So Joe Barton was not separated from his wife. His wife filed for divorce in 2014, and he was officially divorced in 2015. So what Representative Joe Barton is doing is he's using revenge porn laws as a fake shield for his own sexual infidelity, which he lied about. And, there's a lot more to the story that isn't really being talked about. The woman said that Representative Joe Barton flew her to Capitol Hill, where he was working as a congressman, in 2012, and gave her a tour of the Capitol and then slept with her afterwards. So I want to know, was he using his miscellaneous spending or finances as a congressman, which he's, given as an allowance to fly this woman out and have sexual affairs? I mean, he, according to this woman, paid her off in cash and reimbursed her in cash for her flight like a prostitute. And the woman who spoke to the Washington Post appears to be a different woman from the woman who posted the messages originally online. So people are accusing you and I of posting revenge porn, but, one, I don't think this is revenge porn, and two, I never posted any images or videos of Representative Barton.
Since you raised it, let's be clear. It was like Tuesday, you call the office, I'm not here. You've been given the raw footage. I wanted to show that we had the raw footage without showing it. That's what we did. We covered up, 90% of the screen, showed the top, his face, and said, folks, it's not just a photo. This is a video. And I said this was given third party to Laura Loomer. She doesn't know why it was given to her, but our whole point is if it was done to be mean, it's revenge porn. We dubbed that term if it was done maliciously. Didn't mean we engaged in the revenge porn. I said in the video, live report, that's what it could be. But now the whole story is degenerating and officially falling apart.
Something I want to bring up, though, is it really revenge porn, right? I feel like Republicans are being extremely hypocritical here simply because Joe Barton is a Republican.
No, that's right. When TMZ puts out somebody's sex tape that somebody put out, they don't call it that. It's called journalism.
Right. Anthony Weiner, right? Anthony Weiner was having a consensual sexting relationship with a woman in 2013. I'm not talking about the minor. I'm talking about, I believe it was Sydney Leathers, right? He believed he was having a consensual message to and was sending her sex messages and pictures of his penis as well. So Republicans use that to tear down Anthony Weiner, and we use that to campaign against the Clintons, and we had no problem bringing up his dick pics and his sexual messages and his infidelity to Huma Abedin. So what would we have done if he had said that was revenge porn? I really think that Republicans need to look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves if they're being hypocrites. We have a right to know what our elected officials are doing while they're representing us on Capitol Hill. And if they're, screwing around on the taxpayer dime and using funds, not saying that he did, but if they are using funds to have...
Sure, well, let's just be clear, too. Weiner first got in trouble years ago for sexting adult women. That's separate from his conviction for the 15-year-old, because the media will try to conflate that and be deceptive as well. Yeah. My whole point in covering the fact that we have the raw video is to say it's a video, not an image. Here you can see video of his face from the same video, not showing the sexual part. It's just shocking to see mainline Republicans try to spin it like we're Democrats or we're bad people for covering this. They even claim we originally put the photos out, which isn't true. And again, it's just incredible deception.
No, I completely agree with you. They're trying to accuse us. They're trying to make it sound like Representative Joe Barton sent me messages, like sexual messages directly, and that I was the one who released them. And that's not true. And so I have people who are messaging me like, oh, were you texting Representative Joe Barton? And they're acting like liberals. And
that's because the media misrepresents things so badly.
Right. And we have conservatives who are now falling into this liberal trap, and they're not trying to hold Representative Joe Barton. No,
I agree. Let's come back and talk about it. But to be clear, the photos are out. It's not just a photo, it's a video. We have the video without showing even his hands. We just show his face looking down from the same photo that was public to show we have the video. It's a video, not the other. And I said people are idiots if they're doing this online sex stuff. I'm not trying to go after Barton or anybody. I'm simply reporting that what he did, though, sexting, is not the same as pedophilia. And it's not the same as all this other stuff. But if he's lying to his constituents, that's a whole other issue. And we've got to be fair here. We can't just go after Democrats and leave Republicans alone. We'll be right back. I want to get to this with you, Laura, in the next segment because it's so big, but and just this overall scandal and where this is going. But you get my point that a guy sending stuff to a woman he's reportedly dated might be creepy. If she doesn't want anymore, might be harassment, might be stalking. But on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 1 or a 2. Lolita Express and kidnapped little girls, that's a 10. And so I just see the media focusing, and I'm not knocking you for focusing on this or us focusing. We cover it all. Because we talked yesterday. We're like, we'll be hypocrites if we don't cover this. Because we're covering Democrats. So let's cover the fact that we have the video, and he's lying about it just being an image. But then the media lies about that. But at the same time, we should just set the record straight and move on.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to continue dwelling on this. I think it was important for me to come on today and speak with you to address these, wild accusations that we're engaging in revenge porn. Because, look, there's just a lot of hypocrisy. And the problem is that Republicans have no issue using images against Democrats like Anthony Weiner to take them out of political power and to shame the Democrats. But when it comes to draining the swamp on the Republican side of the aisle, they just act like hypocrites. And I'm just going to quote what you said in the beginning of this segment. Judgment Day is coming, bitches. So if you're going to drain the swamp, you got to drain it on both sides of the aisle. You can't clean out your neighbor's closet if you're not going to clean out your own closet.
I agree. There are swamp creatures in both parties.
Oh, yeah. And, if you look at all of these sexual harassment accusations and these sealed deals, and you want to talk about draining the swamp, forget about term limits, right? We're going to drain the swamp by sperm limits. That's what it's starting to look like, because it seems like a lot of men in Congress haven't been able to keep their junk in their pants, and they've been using taxpayer funds to cover up their own sexual harassment.
Well, what I don't get is the power trip. I mean, like, I'm focused on business and getting stuff done. And it'd be one thing if a guy had an affair once every 20 years and wasn't married or something. It's like they're all over everybody. They're like maniacs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very concerning. And I think that there's a lot of hypocrisy on both sides of the aisle. Democrats want to go after Republicans. Republicans want to go after Democrats. But when it comes to exposing the swamp creatures on your own side of the aisle, if we're going to go after one person for sexual harassment, you have to treat everybody fairly. You just can't pick and choose.
Absolutely. But expanding on this, I would have thought when fake news blew up the Democrats' face and the media's face, they would back off. Instead, they've just intensified the level of fake news against yours truly, yourself, many others. It has reached just biblical cloud cuckoo land level.
Yeah, look, it's a shame. I mean, I'm embarrassed to say that even conservatives I've respected in the past were engaging in this revenge porn narrative and trying to attack you and I on Twitter for something that, we didn't do. They're trying to make it seem like we were very malicious. But look, I think at the end of the day,
by the way, they never saw the footage because I took it down in 30 minutes because I saw the spin. I was like, hey, it's video, not this. Here's his face. It's video. See? Oh, they showed it. He put the image out. I was like, whoa, I'm not going to get in that briar patch.
Yeah. But like I said, right, Congressman Joe Barton lied about when these messages were sent. He lied about being divorced from his wife, and he lied about his infidelity. And the woman...
And he lied about it being a video. He said it was a photo, not a video.
Yeah, and the woman told the Washington Post.
He said, this is the extent of it. He said, this image is all there is. No, there's a whole video.
The woman told the Washington Post that Congressman Barton said, oh, should I send you a picture of myself? And she said, no, please do not send me a picture of yourself. So that would be sexual harassment. If she's telling the truth and he really did send her pictures like that and she didn't want them, that's harassment. If you're sending somebody unwanted pictures of yourself.
All I'm saying is, Laura, is that who in their right mind, especially a public figure, jacks into the internet and then masturbates in front of a webcam? I mean, that is the craziest. That is totally irresponsible. And I don't care who he is. Plus, the guy wanted DACA. The guy wants globalism. He's a neocon.
Yeah, he's a rhino, right? He's a never-Trumper. He cheated on Americans with DACA, and now he's been caught cheating on his wife through these text messages, and he needs to take responsibility, and he needs to resign. He needs to stop threatening this woman with a capital investigation when he was the one who flew her out to D.C. himself, and he needs to stop using his position of political power to try and silence women. If you're going to...
Stay right there. We're going to come back and get into the big issue, the pedophilia. Okay, so going back to Laura Loomer, who people can follow at Twitter. We'll give you all her contacts here in a moment. I agree. We should, it's a Laura Loomer, at Laura Loomer there on Twitter. I agree we should definitely cover the Joe Barton thing because it's a story of manipulation, a story of corruption, a story of just bad judgment. And so that's why we did it, was a show. It's not an image, and that's not the extent of it. It's a video, and there's reportedly other stuff and other women, and I know you know some about that. So it's how they handle this, the arrogance of these guys, thinking because he's at the Capitol and he's got power, that he could do something like this. I mean, this is just crazy. Much less people that put their stuff on the cloud. You know, those Hollywood stars put stuff on the cloud of them having sex with their boyfriends or girlfriends and then wonder why it gets out. I mean, it's crazy. So that said, moving on past that, what do you make of the Jeffery Epstein and the Bill Clinton and Dan Bongino, very respected Secret Service agent, saying, look, we got evidence of all of you on the plane with the kids. Look out. It's going to come out. That sounds to me like he's getting ready to bring it out, and he thinks in this climate it's safe to bring it out. Why do you think everybody's going public, from sexual harassment down to pedophilia right now? Why are there so many arrests? We know it's Trump, it's the courage, it's the turning of things, but I mean, what's happening right now, Laura, in your view?
I think that there's a lot of things. I think that Trump being president, right, and a lot of people not feeling threatened by a Clinton presidency, in which their lives would literally be threatened if Hillary Clinton was president. They wouldn't be able to come out and be public about all of these allegations because Hillary Clinton would most likely abuse her position of power to silence victims, just like she did to people like Juanita Broderick. And I think that other women are inspired. I don't believe that all of the allegations against all of these men are true. I think there are a lot of false allegations going around. But with regards to Bill Clinton, we've been hearing stories about this, and we've been hearing from women for years now. And the mainstream media and Hillary Clinton and all of her associates have gone out of their way to silence these individuals. And some of these people have even ended up dead, right, with 2 suicide gunshots to the back of the head. So all I have to say is I really hope that Dan Bongino goes into some type of witness protection program or gets some bodyguards so that we're able to see this evidence and hear his account of events before he is found, like I said, with 2 gunshots in the back of the head.
Wow, Laura Loomer, incredibly well said. I mean, that's it. And I've got to get all the video clips of him on this show saying, Alex, it's worse than you're saying. It's worse than you know. And I say, what is it? He goes, brother, I can't say, but let me just tell you, it's as evil as it gets. And then they think he told me stuff off air. So they broke in his house, broke in his car, death threatened him. And he would call up probably 20 times and go, listen, they listen to you all the time. You got to go on air and tell them I didn't tell you anything, you know, off air, because he never does. I mean, he's not a stupid guy. I'm not stupid. I don't want to know the stuff he knows unless it's on air. I told the D.C. madam a month before she got hung at her mother's house, and I talked to her a condo manager. She owned a condo, and I talked to her family. It wasn't her handwriting. She was murdered. She said people were after her. She was during a break. John Harmon heard it because he was listening in while she was on the phone. She's like, oh, I got them all. I said, I don't want to hear any names. She didn't say any names. I said, lady, say it all on air right now or don't tell me a word. I said, they're going to kill you. And she said, oh, no, I've got people that have got the records. And, they thought their mom. That's why they went to her house. And I didn't want to know. You either get it all out, like Jim Garrison said in the JFK assassination, you stay in the sunshine. I don't know any secrets that I basically haven't said on air that are life-threatening. Because if somebody starts trying to tell me some big secret I know will get you killed, I go, whoa, 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 partner, text, stop right there. I do not want to know this unless you're ready to go public right now. These people just don't get how dangerous. But I mean, Bongino's was a decorated New York cop, very good Secret Service agent. He's not stupid. So, I mean, I think he's getting ready to go public. What do you think? I've been calling him in the last 2 hours 5 times. He hadn't answered.
I hope he goes public. And look, you're not the only one who's been speaking with sources like this tied to the Clintons, people that have information on his abuse of power when it comes to, sex with others. I know somebody who told me that they were in one of the presidential motorcades that President Bill Clinton allowed Kevin Spacey to use, where Kevin Spacey would literally be having gay sex in the back of President Clinton's motorcade while President Bill Clinton was in town because they were buddies. There's a lot of these security guards and personnel and Secret Service agents who are very aware of, the promiscuity and just this very disgusting, perverse nature of Bill Clinton.
The lawlessness.
I mean, using taxpayer dollars in a security motorcade to engage in acts of gay sex. It's just, it's.
So you're saying you've got federal sources that were there while, that told you that Spacey was having basically sex parties in the backs of limos in the motorcade.
Yeah, I'm not going to confirm whether or not they still are active, federal security officers. But yes, I do have sources who have told me that they witnessed Kevin Spacey having gay sex with men in the back of President Bill Clinton's motorcade.
And again, the media calls us fake news. How many stories have you put out that have turned out to be dead on? I mean, it's a daily basis. Everything we've talked, because we have real sources.
All of the information I put out regarding Vegas was true, but I was called a conspiracy theorist. I was called crazy. People on the right demonized me.
Well, that's because most of the right, I saw the articles that attacked you and I yesterday. It's Soros' talking points. Every one of them was, all these lies. He lost his kid. This lawsuit. He's a loser. He's a liar. He says he's fake. It's a formula. These people are literally getting $20,000 a year from Soros. And they're just losers. We'll be back. Stay there, Laura Loomer and Mike Cernovich straight ahead. Laura Loomer, great job breaking all this and letting me make the decision what to do with the video. I think we did the right thing, covering it all up except his face so folks knew he was lying about it being an image. I'm not against.
I wanted to make you aware really quick, if you have a few moments, of another breaking news update regarding another sex scandal that's about to be released within the next few days. It was supposed to come out today, but it looks as if the accuser is now being threatened or intimidated by the congressman who she is accusing of having an extramarital affair with. So apparently there's a 19-year-old GOP staffer who had an affair with a married, never-Trumper Republican congressman, and a major newspaper was going to break the story this morning, and then the woman is claiming that around 4:30 in the morning, she got a call from a blocked number that reminded her that she signed an NDA so that if she were to go public with things, she would be sued. So here
by the way, NDAs don't cover sex. They don't cover stuff that's illegal. Not that sex is illegal. It doesn't cover private stuff like that. I mean, you can argue they do, but it's just not true.
I just want you to know, I mean, just how disgusting is that this woman who may have been 18 or younger, we know that she's 19. We're not being told when the extramarital affair happened. But now this woman who wants to come forward, and she may be a victim of harassment, is now is starting to be threatened with NDA she signed to work for a congressman. I mean, look, it happens on the right and it happens on the left. I'm going to say it one more time. If you want to drain the swamp, you have to be fair and drain the entire swamp. You can't just make Democrats look bad. So Republicans, please stop being hypocrites. If you're going to expose perverts like Wiener, you should also expose other perverts on the right. That's
sure, absolutely, absolutely. Well, and again, I'm not poo-pooing any of this. It's very important. They're using the whole women's sex scandal, women cheating on their husbands, men cheating, that's being made synonymous with pedophilia. That's a totally different thing of just being immoral compared to absolute criminal activity. Thank you.